Most agents don't have enough leads for their real estate business. So here are the 8 best lead sources for you to grow fast, how much they cost, the pros and cons of each one, and how to get started. Each one of these sources can produce over 200,000 of GCI on their own. When combined, you can easily turn it into 500, 700, $1 million of GCI. But it's important to understand that these leads come in 2 types. You have trading your time for leads, expireds, open houses, door knocking, working your SOI. You show up and you do something with your time and you get a lead out of it. Or you advertise for leads. You spend your money and in return, you get leads. Depending on where you are in your business, the best lead source for you will change. What you don't want to do is add another lead source that takes a ton of time if you're already busy. You shouldn't be going after door knocking leads if you're already busy. But if you're brand new and you don't have a ton of money and you have a lot of time, then you should be going after things that take time, like expires, like door knocking, like open houses, like prospecting. But when you're starting, you should only go after 1, at most 2 at a time. All of the income comes from the top of the skill, meaning the best people in the market that work this lead source make most of the money. For example, when I was going after expired listings, myself and one other guy, we were the best at expireds, and we probably took 80% of the available leads and expireds in our market. We were taking, between both of us, 100 to 200 listings a year, which means everybody else was fighting over that 20% left over. We were the best at the skill of converting these leads, so we got most of it. And the mistake I see agents do is they add 5 lead sources, but they're average at all of them, meaning they're competing against everybody for the bottom of the barrel. The first 4 lead sources on this list, you're going to be trading your time for leads, and I put my favorite one at the end. Number 1, for sale by owners. I find the best approach actually comes from a buddy, Matt, out of Tucson, and here's what he does. He calls the homeowner. He asks when the next open house is. Typically they won't have one, and if they don't, he'll ask when he can come by and preview the property. Then he goes to meet them in person and he'll formally introduce himself and he'll give them tips on how they can sell the home better. He's not asking for the business, he's not asking for commission, he's just coming from contribution and helping them out. So the pros of this lead source are less agents call this lead source, the sellers already want to sell, it's easy to get appointments, and most of them will just let you in the home without any pushback. However, the cons are most of the homeowners don't see the value in having an agent, otherwise they would have hired one already, and so they may be constantly fighting you on the commission, which means you need to be good at those objections. The cost for this is it's basically free. You can get it from Vulcan 7, but you can also just go to Zillow.com, look under the buy tab, look at for sale by owners, and you'll have a list of 5 to 50 of them right there, free, and you can call them. It costs nothing other than having a cell phone. And the quick tip on this to really convert FSBOs is you want to act like their agent before you are their agent, meaning you offer photography support, you offer your stager, you offer to rewrite their listing descriptions, you give, and then you ask. It's very Gary Vaynerchuk, jab, 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 right hook. And so you want to come from contribution, help them out as much as possible, and win their trust by helping them for free. Worst case scenario, you did a good thing and they got the support and got it sold. Best case scenario, you do the same thing, but they hire you to actually get the job done because they realize how much work it takes. Number 2, open houses. This will be, if you really work it, your most profitable lead source by far. And the pros of doing an open house are, there's a bunch of them. The buyers will just show up to your house. They walk in the front door and they want to talk to you about the home that's listed. The downsides of this though are many of them are represented and you have to do these on Saturdays and Sundays. And if you're not trying to work every single weekend, maybe it's a little hard to include these. They also have a very low cost. You can do an open house for free. You can spend a little bit of money and get poo-poos and drinks and snacks for 50 bucks. You can go all out and at most with balloons and flowers and cakes and music and the whole thing, you're gonna spend a couple $100. The cost is low, and a quick tip if you really wanna convert this lead source is to know that all of the money is made at the top of the skill. Meaning, if you're a buyer, you're gonna go see, say, 5 to 10 open houses on a Sunday afternoon. You're gonna go into all these houses and you're gonna meet 5 to 10 different real estate agents. Every single one of them is probably gonna hand you a flyer, ask you how you heard about it, what do you like about the neighborhood, ask you to sign and then never talk to you again. That is the worst way you can ever host an open house. You are just wasting your time and your money. If you really want to be effective at these, you really want to prepare. All of the time for open houses is spent in the preparation. You want to have 10 open house signs. You want to door knock the neighbors beforehand with QR codes offering something of value, like a discount or how to sell your home fast. You want to have scented candles. You want to have an iPad that makes them sign in so there's no typos when you write it down. You want to have a full-on folder package about the home, about the neighborhood, about the schools nearby, about the restaurants, all about the community, what's included in the HOA fees. You want to have a binder that has every single other listing in it that you can say, when they tell you, hey, we're actually looking for a 4-bed and this is a 3-bed, you say, wait a minute, I know the perfect property. And you whip out your binder and you're going through and you're like, hey, you take a screenshot of this. You got to have to go see this one. Actually, right after the open house, I can pop in and show it to you if you wanted. You want to make sure you got food, drinks, open house signs. You want to have a ton of balloons, because here's the thing. How you do anything is how you do everything. And when buyers show up and they see that you are just having the best open house they have ever seen in their life, they want to work with you. I've had people pull me aside and say, Devin, this is such a good open house. I want you to be my agent. Is that okay? Of course. I've had open houses where I had a sommelier pouring wine. I've had mermaids in pools. I've had fire dancers. I had somebody playing piano with the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song all night long. I had this grazing table. It was a 15-foot table full of fruits and drinks and snacks and charcuteries and all the things. Granted, that was a $10 million listing, so a little bit different. But when you do this, you stand out. And that is what I mean by all the money is in the top of the skill. Number 3, it's my second to favorite one. You post listings, houses for sale in free Facebook groups. So check this out. You log into Facebook, you grab a listing from your brokerage, from your MLS, and you post it for sale with the price, the terms, the information. And if you really get clever, you even throw in a funny photo that says, when you buy this house from me, you get free pizza for a year or free tacos for a year. Something that makes people stop and be like, that's kind of cute, and then possibly reach out to you. And so what'll happen is you'll get dozens of people on Facebook messaging. Is this still available? Hey, what are the payments? All these questions. So the pros of this lead source are, it's free. People reach out to you asking questions. You can add them right on Facebook. You see their profile. It's kind of nice to just know who they are. Some downsides, you get a ton of looky-loos, like tons of people who are not serious, but the cost, free. The time commitment, low. And if you really want to do it well and you're smart, you pay a virtual assistant, or you get your sister or your son or your dad, whoever loves Facebook, and you get them to post for you for $5-10 an hour or $5 a post. I promise they won't mind. They want to work with you. You're a great agent. And then now you've built this system, this marketing channel, where your lead generation is on autopilot. And number 4, my opinion, the very best way to generate seller leads right now today for free, no cost, is expired listings. You can get on the phone with the seller. You can find out if they're still interested. You can ask for an appointment to see the home and give them a second opinion on selling now that they're off the market. You show up, you meet them, you prove why you are the best agent in the world. You show them all the services you offer. You tell them that, hey, when I list this home, I'm going to do professional photography, staging, I'm going to have it professionally cleaned, whether that's you hire someone or you do it yourself. You tell them you're going to door knock the neighborhood, do open houses. You're going to make sure that every day you wake up, the only job is you're going to get their home sold, and you're not going to stop until it's done. And you're going to show them that you're willing to put in the work. And when you do this, the sellers are going to say, hey, this is not like the last agent we had. I think we're ready to hire you. And you list it, you put it on the market, and if you're lucky and you priced it right, you can have that thing sold within 1, 2, 3 weeks, and you can be closed in less than a month. I have taken expired listings. I have signed them. I've had them under contract the next day and closed within a couple weeks. That is possible. But the cons of this lead source are, it is a high amount of time input and a high amount of skill. You have to be really good at presenting your services, handling objections, talking on the phone, and you can't be afraid of the phone. You have to build that habit. If you're the type of agent who you make a couple calls and then you quit, that's not gonna work. I've made over 100,000 cold calls in my career. The reason I've had success with this this lead source is not because I was great, but because I put in so much work. Now for the cost, you can generate this lead source for free. So what you can do is you can pull the expired data from your MLS, you pull up the homeowner's name. You can go to websites like truepeoplesearch.com and you type their name in, it'll give you their phone number. Or you pay for a data aggregator like Vulcan7.com. They're my favorite one. I've got a link below for a discount code. And what they'll do is every morning they'll send you all of the data for the homeowner, their name, their address, possibly their email. And so you're not spending time looking up and researching, it's all in one place. And so you can spend more time reaching out to leads. And a quick tip, if you really want to grow with this lead source, calling, texting, emailing, door knocking, those 4 things. And if you can't door knock, calling and texting, you will double or triple your conversion if you're good at that. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take those leads, I want you to call them, I want you to text them, and I want you to do that every day, 3 times a day for 3 days straight. And if they don't get back to you, then you put them on the not contacted lead list. But you really got to follow up with them heavily in the first 3 days. Number 5, and we're moving on to trading your money for leads. This is advertising. Zillow.com, I know they get a lot of hate, but check this out. You give them your credit card, they give you 5, 10, 50 leads all at once. And all you have to do is answer the phone and call them and follow up. And it's easy. That's the pros about this lead source. It's so simple. The cons are, it's expensive. You're gonna be spending $10, $50, $100, $400 per lead when you could just do an open house and get them right away. The cost for this is at least $1,000 a month. It is expensive. And a quick tip, if you really want to convert these leads and you're willing to spend the money, I'm going to link the ALM script below. That's the script that Zillow will give you, but we've really mastered it, and I'll give you all of the descriptions of why it's written the way it is. And this has helped us go from a 1 to 2% Zillow lead conversion all the way up to a 5%, meaning Zillow gives you 100 leads, you close 5 of them. That's about as good as it's ever going to get. That's the best of the best. Number 6, Veterans United Realty. It's a referral company that will give you leads for a fee. So pros are no upfront cost. The downside is they're going to want a 35 to 45% referral fee on the back end. So they're much more expensive, but if you're a new agent, you don't have to pay up front. You do a couple of these, you take that money and you put it into something else. A quick tip for this lead source, if you really want to go after it, is you need to know somebody in your market that is already a Veterans United agent. Reach out to some of them, call their corporate office, get a hold of the right people, but it is invite only, so you need to make sure you know the person to get that invite. Number 7, Google pay-per-click leads. Check this out. You can build a website or have someone build it. You can run pay-per-click ads on Google, so when a home buyer goes to Google and types in homes for sale Oahu, Hawaii, your listing page, your website will come up, and then they can register to see listings, and then you get that lead. So the pros are, cost per lead is cheap. You're looking at $10 all the way up to $50 per lead. The downside to this is you have to be pretty technical. You either need to hire somebody, which isn't going to be cheap, or you have to know how to set up this website, the IDX feed, the landing pages, and the lead acquisition funnels all yourself. It takes a certain amount of effort to get that going, which is why I don't usually recommend it to brand new agents. And a quick tip, if you really want to be great at Google pay-per-click leads, is you want to have some type of automation software. With this, you're going to get a lot of leads. We're probably talking 50 to 100 per month, more than you can actually follow up with. There's a bunch of websites that will actually do the lead follow-up for you until they become hot again, and then they'll put it back in your CRM. You just physically can't follow up with 500 people a month. And finally, number 8, the very best lead source for many reasons is direct mail. The best thing about it is a listing-focused lead source, meaning all of the clients that you get in the leads are sellers. Most other lead sources bring in a ton of buyers, a ton of looky-loos, a lot of renters. You don't want that. It's a huge waste of your time. But with direct mail, every single person you're targeting owns a home, which means every single person is qualified. And we know that listings take about 10% of the amount of work and time as buyers. So you can handle many more seller clients than you can buyer clients. It also isn't as expensive as people think. For $500 a month, $6,000 a year, you can start to see a return in your market. The downside though is most people aren't willing to wait 6 months to see a return, because direct mail does take 6 months because you're building a brand. But if you're patient and you're willing to put some money in now to return in 6, 12, 18 months, then you can really grow your business. And a quick tip, if you really want to get good at this, first thing, make sure to go after a high turnover area. You don't want to go after luxury homes that never sell. You want to find an area of 500 homes that 3 to 4 to maybe 5% of homes will sell every single year, so good turnover. And you want to make sure that when you're reaching out to these homeowners and you're sending direct mail, you want to send something of value. Don't just say, look at me, look at all the advertising I've done, look how many homes I've sold. Really try and give them value. Tell them the value of their home. Tell them what's going on in their neighborhood. Give them something interesting, and if you want to take it an extra step further, put QR code lead captures on your mailers and your letters to make sure that they scan and they can actually get the home value of their home today. And that will force them to put in their information, which gives you another lead to call. 3 bonus lead sources that I think you should really consider at some point in your business. Number 1 is partnerships. Find a lender that's willing to go in on the cost with you for things like Zillow, or they're willing to go door knocking with you. So if you guys canvass a neighborhood, you can hit twice as many homes in the same amount of time. They're willing to come to your open house and set up your open house signs. They're willing to field calls. If you get a great lender partnership, you can make an extra $1,000 to $5,000 a month from that partnership in terms of actual money towards advertising, or in terms of time that they're willing to put in that you can't pay for. Second bonus is B&I groups, a bunch of professionals. They'll get together on a weekly basis. They'll send each other referrals. It's easy. And the third one is social media commenting, not posting, but commenting. I had a friend out of Austin, Texas, who he never posts on social media, but what he does is he comments on everybody's story. He finds their profiles, he DMs them, and every day he'll message 20, 30, 40 people through social media, asking them what's going on. It's just outbound texting or calling, but through Instagram. And it is a really easy way to stay in touch with people and remind them that you're a real estate agent. And I'll leave you with the last thing. Don't try and implement all of these at once. Choose one of them. Go deep, master the skill, learn the resources that I've put out there for all of these. And once you master that one and you're starting to make money, then add a second one. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a comment and subscribe. I dare ya.